Hi guys, after a pretty long break, welcome back to Alamat, where we translate and narrate different horror stories from around the world. In today's tale, we delve into the heart of the Philippines, where the serene night conceals a horrifying secret. Brace yourself for the midnight drive. It was a moonless night in the rural province of Laguna, where dense forests and winding narrow roads seemed to stretch endlessly through the darkness. Roberto, a young man returning home after a visit to a neighboring town, found himself driving alone on these deserted roads. The darkness was thick, and the only illumination came from the dim glow of his car's headlights. Roberto had heard the stories, the terrifying legends whispered by locals about the spirits that roamed the countryside after midnight. They spoke of malevolent entities, vengeful souls who sought to claim the living for themselves. Most people avoided driving late at night to avoid encountering these malevolent spirits. But Roberto was a skeptic, dismissing such tales as mere superstitions. As he continued along the winding road, a dense fog began to envelop the car, reducing visibility to almost nothing. Roberto felt a growing sense of unease as the mist seemed to press in on all sides. Suddenly, the car's engine sputtered and the headlights flickered. The vehicle came to a complete stop, its interior plunged into darkness. Panicked, Roberto tried to restart the car. He turned the key and tried to rev the engine, but the car remained immobile. His heart raced as he realized he was stranded in the middle of nowhere, with no cell phone signal to call for help. The eerie mist outside seemed to close in, and the silence was suffocating. That's when he heard it, a blood-curdling scream that pierced the foggy night. It was a sound of pure anguish, the kind that made the hair on the back of his neck stand on end. Roberto peered out into the misty darkness and saw her, an apparition of a young woman in a torn, blood-stained dress. Her eyes were empty voids and her skin was pallid, as if drained of life. Her bony, skeletal fingers reached out to the car's window, scratching against the glass with a bone-chilling screech. The woman's haunting wail echoed in his ears, sending shivers of dread down his spine. Terrified and unable to look away, Roberto watched as more figures emerged from the mist. They were all spirits, their faces twisted in agony, their voices joining in an otherworldly chorus of lamentation. It was a ghastly sight, a gathering of the tormented dead who had come to claim the living. Desperation and fear overwhelmed Roberto, and he knew he had to escape. He locked the car door, turned the key in the ignition once more, and this time the engine roared to life. With tires screeching, he sped away, leaving behind the apparitions that reached out for him, their cries fading into the distance. As he drove further, the mist gradually lifted, and the horrifying encounter seemed like a terrible nightmare. But Roberto couldn't shake the feeling that something had changed. It was as if a malevolent presence had latched onto him during the encounter. A presence that refused to let go. The following days brought a series of eerie events, objects moving on their own, sinister whispers in the dead of night, and the persistent feeling of being watched. Roberto's life became a nightmare, haunted by the malevolent spirit that somehow attached himself to him. His search for answers led him to local spiritual healers and shamans, but the entity seemed impervious to their attempts at exorcism. It was as if the malevolent spirit had found a way into his very soul, feeding on his fear and torment. This story is a stark reminder that not all encounters with the supernatural are benign. Sometimes the malevolent spirits of the night can latch on to the living, unleashing a reign of terror that refuses to let go. The rural roads of the Philippines hide dark secrets, and those who venture into the night may find themselves on a nightmarish journey from which there is no escape. Thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey in this week's Alamat. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more hair-raising stories from around the world. And remember, when you drive through the dark roads of the night, be prepared for the unexpected, for you never know what malevolent forces might be lurking in the shadows. Stay curious and stay safe.